Brews Podcast. Sorry we've been away for the last couple of weeks. Been traveling, getting some R&R. I got to visit my brother, my sister-in-law, and my wonderful nephew out on the East Coast. Had a blast, but unfortunately we couldn't shoot any content, so do apologize for that. But thank you guys for tuning in to this one, and whoever's liking and subscribing, appreciate you. Thank you. What's up, bro?
What's up, man? Yeah, it was a fun week, or a few days that you were out here. Really appreciate your help with the Christmas party. It was a blast. We tried to fit in a session, right? Just with these things happen during the holidays, right?
Yeah.
Just
wasn't, it just wasn't easy.
Yeah. We'll miss you around here, that's for sure. My brother-in-law was here as well, and you guys are really helpful, and Arjun, he misses you guys as well. So
Mundo was a great help, man. Honestly, he was kind of like we were like partners in crime. We were doing everything together. Definitely was a great thing having him there too.
yeah.
So this was the first time I got to spend some extended time with him as well. So pretty cool, getting to know him a little bit. Kind of getting to know him without you guys as well. So
Yeah.
it was pretty neat, man. It was a good time. Really appreciated that time.
Yeah. Do you want to talk about that drink you guys made?
Yeah, it was like a Christmas punch. So my sister-in-law, she came up with this recipe. I think she may have seen it on Pinterest or somewhere online or something like that.
Pinterest. Yeah.
Was it Pinterest? Okay,
Yeah.
cool. So what it was is, it's a bunch of different types of fruit. It was a vodka-based drink. Yeah, I mean, I think we did pretty well with that thing. I mean, the fruit at the end was so potent with alcohol. I mean, you could get drunk just eating the fruit. It was pretty cool. So I think everybody enjoyed it for the most part. It's kind of like a Christmas version of a jungle juice. I'm sure everybody knows what jungle juice is.
Yeah. No, it was really good because there was a lot of drinks there. I think everyone kept going back to the Christmas drink. Wow, do we even give it a name? I think it's jungle juice, I guess.
Christmas jungle juice, man. Christmas jungle juice. Yeah,
Christmas jungle juice. Yeah. So like after you guys left, I just I got sick and kind of just drowned on the couch and finished Yellowstone. Man, that was I know you didn't lie. You finished it already, right?
No, I didn't. You didn't finish it? No. I watched the first episode of the season, and that's all she wrote for me.
Yeah.
I thought they ruined the show.
Spoiler alert. Just let everyone know if you haven't seen it. This is going to be a spoiler alert. So
no, I'm not
fast forward through this process, but
I'm not gonna divulge any information that everybody in the world doesn't already know. Even if you never watched Yellowstone, I'm sure you already heard what happened in the season premiere, which is utterly ridiculous.
Yeah.
But I refused to watch the rest of the season. I was at a Christmas party last night, and they were talking about some of the things that happened in it. And I didn't really pay too much attention because, I mean, it's kind of worthless at this point. But, I mean, I started watching a different show, actually. It's called, like, High Country or something. It's about this guy who is who's incarcerated. He's trying to get parole. His parole is denied. So he gets into this program where he goes and becomes a firefighter with these other inmates. Yeah. And they actually, funny enough, they go back to his hometown, Edgewater, I think it is. And so, different family things going on there. And I think I'm a few episodes into that one. That one's pretty fun. So I don't know if anybody's watching that. I'm enjoying it so far.
Yeah, I've seen the first episode to that. It is interesting for sure. I like the concept.
Acting in is really good too.
Yeah, so I'm shifting gears here as well. Like, Yellowstone I finished it quickly.
Yeah.
I think they rushed it. They wanted to close the series for whatever reason, and I know there were some off-screen issues going on with Kevin Costner, and a few of the cast members as well as the producer. So yeah, it is what it is. Yellowstone, great show up until the end.
Yeah.
I'm now watching Silo. Silo is also a really good show. If you like this sort of post-apocalyptic types of shows,
no, not a fan. Not a fan.
Yeah, I know you like to stay grounded. Me, I love it. Right. Anyways,
you know what's coming out? I just
what's
saw. I didn't see the trailer for it because I'm freaked out of my mind.
what's that?
28 years later.
Yep. Yeah, I saw that. Yeah, it's gonna be good.
I remember we watched 28 Weeks Later. You and I.
Mhm.
Oh my god, that thing was super super scary. Anything that's based in like London and it's like a horror thing, like it's just scary. London in itself is such an eerie city that like
What?
when you put zombies into it, you're like, holy shit!
Dude, London is not eerie, man. Yes, it has a lot of history there. No, it has a lot of history there, but
goodness, it's so
not...
eerie. It's eerie.
No, bro. I mean, you put me in the woods or something, that's eerie. I mean, I can't. No way. It's like,
no, this is Texas Chainsaw Massacre or something.
All right, dude. Yeah. All right. Well, we're just it's that time of season where you don't really do too much in terms of going outside. We do have Christmas coming up though, so here it's like freezing. It's 20 degrees. I think less than 20. We had a little bit of snow the other night. It lasted 2 hours, so disappeared by early morning. I'm hoping we get some more this week, so it'd be nice to have a little white Christmas before. So
snow is always good.
What about you? What's do you got plans for the holidays? What's going on?
So I had a Christmas party last night at my friend Didi's house. A bunch of us got together. It was a good time. It was fun. I mean, we were able to get back at a decent time. They wanted to go to a bar after that, so it was cool. It was fun, but towards that end of the night, I was like, you know what, I gotta get out of here. Irish goodbye. Just kind of slip out the back door.
Yeah.
Otherwise, you're always gonna find someone that says, no, one more drink, or let's hang out for a little bit more. Let's go somewhere else. So, in my estimation, the Irish goodbye is one of the greatest ways to go. Honestly.
Yeah. I've used it a few times myself. So, and I got some stories of when I've used it. And well, anyways, we'll talk about those later, some other time. I ain't doing too much for the holidays either. So, I think we're just gonna stay in because it is bitter cold out here. Yeah. So, you don't want to do too much with a 4-month-old, right? So,
yeah, it gets a little difficult. That's for sure.
Yeah. All right. Cool. So let's jump into sports because that's what we're here to talk about, right?
Yeah. So, that's enough about our lives. Enough about our lives.
I mean, usually, we go week by week and we cover a lot. Having skipped a week, things. A lot goes on in the sports world, right? Every day. One of the things that went on, in the NBA, we had the Milwaukee Bucks to beat the Oklahoma City Thunder and win the NBA Cup.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What story? What do you pull from that? What is the headline in that for you?
I mean, this is the second team to win it. All right, Lakers won it last year. Now we got this.
Well,
the Bucks winning it this year. Lakers, did they go to the championship last year? No, they didn't.
Do you know who the driving force between both in-season championships was? Darvin motherfucking Ham. Okay, what's up?
God. Hold on, Darvin Ham is on
Darvin Ham is an assistant coach with the Bucks again, dude.
No way. Are you serious? He went back? I missed that. Hold on.
That was hilarious because there were some storylines out there saying, Darvin got his second in-season championship. What up?
Wow.
Oh man.
Man, what does this mean for the Bucks and the actual NBA championship? Is this are they going to be there at the end?
The Bucks started the season really, really horrible. I think they won 3 of their first 10 games or something like that, or first 20 they only won a handful of games or something, right? But I think they're going to do well. It looks like they're playing more as a unit. It looks like it could be a pretty good season for them, but that East is stacked, man. It's hard to come out of the East. Years ago, the Western Conference was really stacked, but it seems like it's flipped the script. The Eastern Conference is just head and shoulders above the West right now. The players out there, the teams. You have to really get a top 4 seed, top 3 seed, in my opinion, to actually do something over there. But those teams up there on top are man, they're stacked.
So you got the Cavs, you got the Celtics, you got the Knicks, right? That are ranked top 3 right now in the East.
Yeah.
Right? Now, the West, are those 3 teams on the top? If, like, let's say they all jump to the Western Conference?
Yeah, I think so. I mean, I don't see anybody I don't see anybody in the West that's, better than those teams, to be honest with you.
Thunder, Grizzlies, Rockets, Mavs, Lakers. Top 5 teams.
It's just no, I don't think so. I think, well, I mean, I see the Magic are up there. I don't know how good they really are. I know they're kind of putting these wins together, which is great. But I think maybe Orlando could get taken out of there. Maybe Milwaukee. I think Denver's still a strong team. I think Golden State's still a strong team. I don't know if the Grizzlies are that good, but Ja is a phenomenal player. But man, Oklahoma City, dude, and Cleveland, their records are insane. Like,
but I mean, look, the Thunder just lost to the 5th ranked Eastern Conference team, the Bucks.
Yeah, I mean,
in a must-win game, right? Like, this is for the NBA Cup. Everybody's
you got to
playing hard.
You got to look at who's on the team, dude. Yeah. I mean, you got to look at the experience that the Bucks have in championship games, playoff games. The Oklahoma City Thunder are a brand new team. They're like a baby team, that's just coming out. They're doing great, but man, to win one game, I mean, if you told me to choose that game, I would take Milwaukee, man, because Milwaukee just has the experience. Dame time, right? Giannis. I mean, those guys are they're proven guys, everybody on the Oklahoma City Thunder, they're like under 24, 25 years old. Like, it's insane, dude. Like, it's phenomenal. Good for them. But, yeah.
Yeah. NBA is still early on. We have the All-Star game coming up here soon, which, I mean, it's honestly been a very conflicting, it's been really conflicting, right, in terms of the effort the players are playing with in recent past games, right? And what needs to change? I mean, people aren't watching the NBA anymore until the playoffs start.
It's just become it's kind of stale, to be honest. Like, the thing that the NBA lacks right now is, in my opinion, is just bona fide stars. Guys that game in and game out, like, you tune in just to watch them. Like, there's really no one left from the old guard, if you really think about it. Back in the day when we were growing up, you had these teams, these homegrown guys. Just take the San Antonio Spurs, for instance, right? They had Tim Duncan, Tony Parker, Manu Ginobili. If they go into town to go play the Lakers, you had Shaq, Kobe, D. Fish, Robert Horry, all these guys. Those kind of teams are not there anymore. You'll take a championship roster from 2022, and then when they come into 2023, there's 2 guys from that championship team. They flip these guys like they're poker chips, man. And that's the thing. You as a fan, how can you get behind some of these guys? How can you root for them if you don't even know if they're going to be on your team tomorrow? So, that's the thing. Like, you don't see people staying on teams for longer than a few seasons. Guys are getting traded. They're signing elsewhere. that's kind of the reason why I enjoy watching Golden State a lot, is because they feel like that old school team, right? That they drafted guys, they kept their guys, they did everything they could to keep their guys. And they've been on that team for like 10 years or something, some of them, right? Which is great. But like the Lakers right now, dude, there's like nobody besides LeBron and AD from the championship team.
Let's be real, Bishan. The Lakers have always been a team that goes out and makes big trades and big acquisitions in the free agency market, right? This is who they are. This is who they've been. This is who I don't see them moving away from this, because players want to play for the Lakers because of the big market, right? They get side hustles going there, right?
Yeah,
there's a lot of business. There's a lot of money to be made in Los Angeles, right? So,
that's what's interesting now, though, also is New York, right? The Knicks. The Knicks have been a dumpster franchise for the last 20 years. But now that, they have some good talent, they even made some good trades in the offseason. If you're talking about, what market you'd rather be in, the Lakers are great. It's phenomenal. There's so many opportunities there. But right now, the Knicks look like a more viable destination, more sought-after destination. It's the Big Apple, and they have a great team. So, I mean, if you told me, and I'm a Laker fan, I would choose the Knicks potential over the Lakers.
Do players not want to play with LeBron?
I don't know. Because
is he a deterrent at this point in his career?
I don't think so. Because I feel like he tries to get everybody involved. I mean, you gotta realize, like, he's top 2 in assists all time or something like that. I mean, that's pretty insane for a guy.
I'm 100% not talking about what he's done historically in the NBA. Like, he's
talking about now.
I'm talking about now. I'm talking about tomorrow, right?
Yeah.
Is he keeping them from doing what the Oklahoma City Thunder are doing what the San Antonio Spurs are doing now? Is it time for him to hang up his cleats and let the Lakers move on, or do the Lakers trade him away and get whatever they can for him and let him, ride out his,
honestly, the most interesting thing, I'll be honest with you, is I had heard this. I don't know if you've heard this. It's trading LeBron James to the Golden State Warriors.
No,
I think that would just light a fire in the NBA. It would be a great storyline. I'd watch every single game. I would not even lie. I think that would be awesome. It'd be great for him. I think it'd be great for Golden State. But could that happen? I don't know.
I want to pause right there. I like what you said. This would be great for the NBA. Right now, the NBA ratings are down in comparison to last year. Many have noticed, and this is a quote I took from this article, many have noticed a significant decline in the competitive fierceness the league used to be known for in previous seasons, and find it to be a burden to watch as basketball fans today. So, the league, and I know you've heard this, I've heard this, has gotten soft. There's a lot of fouls, a lot of ticky-tack fouls, a lot of referees' feelings getting hurt. And now the players are getting frustrated, like Jaylen Brown the other night against the Bulls, being threatened by the referees about being called a second technical foul. The referees are kind of out of line in this place. Even Anthony Edwards is calling out the referees, right? These are probably one of the toughest two fiercest competitors in the league. They both think they are the best player on the court, right?
Yeah.
And does the NBA need to pull back the reins now? Do they need to let the players play to bring back that competitive spirit and that fierceness that's being discussed, right? And get back to playing ball when Jordan was out there. Get back to playing ball when Kobe was out there, Allen Iverson was out there, Vince Carter was out there,
Yeah. there's a lot of, you know, there's a lot of ways that they're not allowing guys to actually play.
Yep.
There's a lot of stoppages. There's a lot of what do you call them, video replays and all this. Yeah, I listened to a lot of the Los Angeles Lakers in-game analysis. Michael Thompson, very knowledgeable guy, Klay Thompson's father, played for the Lakers, #1 pick by Portland some time ago. He said something interesting, and I think it's great. You shouldn't have video replay until the last 2 minutes of a game. I mean, or of a half, right? They're doing these video replays and it's stopping the clock, and they shouldn't even have the referees on the court reviewing this stuff. There should be a ref up top where you have 1,000 screens, every single angle. It's, you're just stopping the game too much.
Yeah.
That's why there's different sports out there that people enjoy watching so much, right? MMA, right? It's constant action, right? Hockey. If you've ever been to a hockey game, I know it gets a bad rap for a lot of people because people don't like watching it on TV. But I challenge you guys, go to a hockey match, and I guarantee you'll have a blast because it's 60 minutes, 20-minute periods, 3 periods, and it's nonstop action. They don't have these guys unless they're fighting or something, and they put them in the penalty box, which is awesome. But the game is just slowed down. These guys are just chucking up threes from half court. There's really no team ball in it anymore. Where guys would go down, or like I remember the Laker days where Kobe would do a step back, jumper or something, or bring it down and pass it to Shaq. Shaq would just diesel his way into the paint, and nobody could touch that guy. That guy was a freaking mountain, man. But you just don't see that anymore. Big men are gone. It's all about that, 3-point game. I mean, there's teaching centers at a young age to shoot threes. I mean, I don't get it.
The post up is dead.
It's dead. There's no action anymore, man. It's like they come up, they look at the guy. If they have a foot, they're like, all right, fuck it. It's just crazy. It's just not fun anymore. I'll be honest. Like I did enjoy the in-season tournament because it was something to play for and everything.
Right.
But and then the floor that they created too was pretty cool. I really liked that. It was just really interesting. But it's just not my cup of tea.
So do they decrease the amount of games in the league? Like do something like the NFL does, right? Where there isn't that many games. Okay, no, you don't do that.
You can't do that. One of the things I think the NBA really needs to do, and this is really something that is near and dear to me, they need to change their one and done rule with college. They need to adopt the same philosophy as college football. Make sure that the athletes are going to school for 2-3 years. That one and done thing is ruining college basketball, and it's ruining the NBA because some of these guys are coming out and they're not ready. They're not seasoned. They're putting them on the court, and they have to sit 1-2 years and try and find their sea legs. I mean, it's just terrible. I remember guys like JJ Redick came out. He played for Duke. He played 4 years for Duke. These guys have played, in North Carolina or played for Duke. These, blue blood states. It was just amazing. Those guys you could get after, and college basketball is just obsolete now too. I mean, if guys are only going to be there for 1 year, you tell me, if a guy goes to school for 3-4 years in college, wouldn't that be a better prospect than a 1-year guy?
Yeah, I mean, you could think of it like that, but they're not playing against the best athletes in the world. I mean, you have players like the Ball brothers, right? Two of them decided to not go and play college basketball, right? They decided to, take that year, go play overseas, right? Yeah. Come back, enter the draft the following year. Overseas, the talent's a lot better than you can say against a lot of these college teams because those are grown ass men. right? So I don't think it changes. I think the NBA going from, now, when they stopped accepting, the jump from high school to the NBA, right? And then now having only you'd have to be a year removed from high school, right, in order for you to qualify to for the draft.
Yeah.
I don't see it changing. I mean, maybe the college could help, but I think these athletes need exposure, and they need exposure to the best talent in the world, and you're going to find that talent in the NBA.
Another
Bronny
thing
Bronny James, I think. I've said this before. He made the jump too soon. He needed to stay in college.
Oh, dude, he had a great gig at USC. Eric Musselman just came in. Eric Musselman is an ex-NBA head coach. Yep. He's a great college coach. He's going to do great things at USC. That guy's, man, if he played for Eric Musselman for 2+ years additional, man, Bronny James would be a top 15 pick. Like, honestly, because he's going to have an NBA head coach coaching him, showing him what he needs to work on, what he needs to do. He's right there in LA. I mean, that would have been perfect.
For his confidence too, because playing against NBA players, the spotlight's on him even more. I mean, if he's playing in college basketball, the spotlight's not going to be on him as much. It still is going to be because he's LeBron James' son, but it's not going to be as intense as it in the NBA, and the criticism is not going to be as harsh as it is in the NBA.
Yeah.
But yeah. Okay.
Well, one thing I'll just add at the end there. Another thing that you have to realize what's changed in the game of basketball. International players are way more prevalent. So local guys that, are from the U.S., there's not that much talent coming out. Like, it outweighs it now. I think internationally, the players that are coming in are, there's more international players than there are local players from the U.S. because, there's people from Canada, there's people from Australia, there's people from Europe. The game has grown so much. So a lot of the interest that you may have in these college players is gone because we don't have those same relationships with these guys anymore. When you have somebody coming in from, let's just say, Spain or Lithuania, you don't know who that guy is, but in college football, somebody that's coming out, Shedeur Sanders, right? The whole country's watched Shedeur Sanders play football, right? You don't have the same thing when it comes to basketball because a lot of these guys are international. No one watches, I'm sorry, there's nobody that watches the Lithuanian league. I've never met anybody that does that, okay? So, you don't know who these guys are. The relationships that you cultivate watching them aren't there.
Yeah. I mean, me alone, the only time I pay attention really to college football is when the draft is happening, right? And then I know all the players. But like you said, Shedeur Sanders, he's been in the media a lot. We are following him. So
exactly.
Travis Hunter in the media a lot. We are following him. But yeah, okay, cool. All right, let's move off the NBA. Let's jump into the NFL. We missed a couple weeks, but so we're playing catch up here. It is Sunday when we're shooting. It is 2:16 Eastern on my end, and the first round of games are happening right now. You got, I can share a couple scores, but let's just jump into the games that happened yesterday.
Yeah.
So Chiefs all but lock up home field after beating the Texans. I think they have 2 more games left. They're going to be tough games. They really only need to win one of those. At this point, I'm pretty sure they're going to get it done. They're going to get that first round bye. Do you see it playing out any differently?
No, I think the Chiefs have two opportunities to get the first, the only bye, right? I think they'll take advantage this week and make sure that they get that. That way, they'll have 2 weeks off for their guys, which, I mean, any team right now would take in a heartbeat.
Mm-hmm.
I felt real bad yesterday watching the game because Tank Dell caught a touchdown, and he had one of the most gruesome injuries I've seen all year. And, that was tough. And to see the emotions on some of his teammates' faces, you could tell the injury was really bad. So, the Chiefs won, happy-go-lucky and all that. Good for them. But that was a tough day for, the Texans fans, for sure.
Yeah, looks from the stuff I was reading, it sounds like it's a pretty horrible injury. He might have not only suffered an ACL tear, but an MCL tear, so it might be like total reconstructive surgery.
And a kneecap, I believe his kneecap was dislocated. It sounds like it's almost like a compound fracture or something, but we don't need to get into the specifics. Just
he's probably going to be out 2 seasons. I mean, next season he'll probably be back if they make the playoffs, but he won't be back to himself for another 2 seasons. That's unfortunate.
Hopefully, speedy recovery and all the best to him. Yep.
But the Chiefs, man, they keep doing it. They keep winning. They're the only team that has. I don't even think they've scored 31 points this year.
I got some of them on my fantasy team. Yeah, I don't think they have.
I don't know how they keep doing it, but you got to keep looking at the top players, right?
Yeah.
Patrick Mahomes on the offense, Chris Jones on the defense, Andy Reid on the offense, Steve Spagnuolo on the defense.
Go ahead.
Yeah, sorry. Those 4 people just know how to make things happen for their teams. That's it. I mean, it's as simple as that. Like, they are winners. And I don't know anybody that can challenge them. I don't know anybody that can go into Arrowhead and beat them. I don't know if Josh can do it. Josh Allen, I don't know if he can do it.
Yeah, it's tough, man. Their team they're just a unit. They know what they're doing. They do their job, like Bill Belichick always used to say.
Yeah.
Just do your job. Every single guy that you mentioned,
Players and coaches,
they're
the best.
They're the best at what they do. And there's even guys like Travis Kelce having a really down year, but there's other guys that have stepped up in his position. Their backup tight end, I forget his name, but he's having a phenomenal year too.
Noah Gray.
Yeah, Noah Gray. Yeah, thank you. Man, they're just playing great. You can't say anything bad about them, which is that's crazy, But
Yep.
Look, to have your last 14 games, a 1-score game, and you win every single one of them, that's pretty freaking wicked. Like that, I mean, the coin could go, 50-50 at any time. So
yep.
I guess it's better to be, lucky than good. I think they definitely have the football gods on their side, most of the time. But I'd be hard pressed to say that it's going to keep lasting.
Mm-hmm.
There's the other shoe falls at some point or another. So they're playing great. Everything's going well, but the playoffs are a whole different beast, man. And you're the number 1 seed. Everybody's gunning for you. Every single team wants your head on a spike. That's it. Like, honest to God.
Yeah.
So, and they're a 2-time defending Super Bowl champion. Do you think anybody in the NFL and the other 31 wants them to do a three-peat? Does anybody want to see that? Because for the rest of our lives, we'll be listening to, the Chiefs, that three-peat. Oh, man. Patrick Mahomes, Travis Kelce, Taylor Swift. Nobody wants that. Besides the Chiefs fans, right? So, I mean,
Yeah.
they're gunning for him. They're gunning for him. So they've had some luck on their side, and good for them. But playoffs are a whole different beast, man.
Yeah.
Whole different beast.
Let's see. It's gonna suck being a 49er fan, seeing them in the Super Bowl again.
Are they still playing? Is the season still going on for the Niners?
I guess. Yeah, it still is. But we got a separate segment just to discuss that, and we'll get to that literally right after this. But the other game was Ravens and Steelers. They're now neck and neck to win the division.
Great division race.
After the Ravens defeated the Steelers yesterday in a dominant fashion. Lamar Jackson threw for 3 touchdowns. Derrick Henry was Derrick Henry, the king. And the Steelers bent the knee. So let's see what happens. This is going to be tight. This is going to be a very, very good finish to the season.
Yeah.
Who do you got winning it if you had to pick right now?
In that division?
Yeah.
The Ravens, honestly. Ravens look like they have... I mean, you got the defending MVP of the league, Lamar Jackson. Derrick Henry is just a... Man, that guy is a mountain of a man. They're
exactly what you need right now.
Oh,
in December
for sure.
and January is a mountain of a man.
Yeah, no doubt. They're just that.
Yeah.
That's it. Like when it gets cold, you just hand him the ball and just let him work, let him eat.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah.
And then John Harbaugh. John Harbaugh and Mike Tomlin, in my opinion, are two of the best coaches in the league. You know, with Andy Reid too. They just know how to win. They know how to get every single ounce of energy out of their guys. They're ultimate competitors, motivators, everything.
Mm-hmm.
So I wish they weren't in the same division, because you put these guys in any other division, they're winning that division year in and year out.
Yeah.
That division is just so stacked. Everybody in that division is great besides Cleveland. Cleveland is Cleveland. So, you know, the Bengals had a down year. Imagine if the Bengals, playing like they're playing now, were doing this early on in the season. I mean, it could be a 3-horse race, which would have been insane. But
it would have been the NFC North.
What's that?
I said it would have been the NFC North.
Yeah, it's insane, isn't it? Like the teams in the North. It's just who's the king of the North, right?
Yeah, like, who's the king of the North? I know, right?
It's gonna be crazy, man.
Who's it gonna be? Ravens? You said Ravens, right?
I got Ravens. Yeah,
okay,
I got the Ravens.
Yeah,
I just think the experience that you have in the backfield, and those guys are both Heisman Trophy winners, if I'm not mistaken. Did Derrick Henry won, I believe, too?
I don't. Derrick Henry won the Heisman? I'm not sure.
I want to say he did. Yeah, I'm pretty sure he did. I think I've seen him in some of those Nissan commercials that you see. You
know what I noticed during that game? 2 things. One, from the Steelers, Russell Wilson made horrible decisions down the stretch.
2015 is when he won the Heisman, by the way.
Okay. Russell Wilson made horrible decisions down the stretch. One, he had this really awesome run, then fumbled it at like the 5-yard line. They could have, that was early on in the game. They had already a 7-point lead.
Yeah.
That could have been a two-score game. You know, anything can happen with a 2-score game. Like, team starts throwing the ball more. What happens when you throw the ball more? You're at risk for, throwing in. Yeah, exactly. Another turnover.
Yeah.
But that didn't happen. Ravens got the ball. They went down and scored. Now, you have Lamar Jackson, who I've noticed is trusting his arm a lot more than his feet. He's making big plays using that arm. And that, to me, is a really, really good sign if I'm a Ravens fan and you're gearing up to play a possible matchup here soon in the playoffs against Patrick Mahomes, against a Chiefs defense that loves to blitz.
Yeah.
If he's throwing the rock the way he is, man, the Chiefs are going to be in some real big trouble.
So another thing that I'll just add, one of the reasons why I think Lamar is, passing more efficiently as well is I think he had a lower body injury, like a hip injury. So that's kind of affected his running, which is, I mean, I think it's showing us really that he can be a great passer as well. So, I'm sure he's going to get healthier, hopefully. So just to have that guy as a dual threat, I mean, especially in the playoffs when it's cold, it's dreary. They have really good weapons out there. Mark Andrews just started to shine again. He's playing well. I wouldn't put it past anybody to say that the Ravens could definitely go into Arrowhead and pull out a game like that. Just claw out a victory. But that's the thing that we're going to see in the playoffs, right? You're going to see the Chiefs as that head honcho, that big dog. But there's guys out there, there's teams out there that are capable of going in there beating them. Russell Wilson is a Super Bowl winning quarterback. Lamar Jackson has gone to the playoffs, I think, every single year since he's been a starter.
He struggled, though. He struggled.
He does. Yeah, he struggles. Yeah, of course. Josh Allen is just playing MVP ball. I think he's unanimous MVP at this point. I mean, the guy is just crazy good. But every single one of these teams has a quarterback that if you had to put him against Patrick Mahomes, resume to resume, you say, yeah, you got a chance, you got an opportunity. So if you told me, would I take Kansas City or the field, I'm taking the field.
Yeah. I mean, you mentioned unanimous MVP, Josh Allen. That was going to be the next thing I wanted to ask you. So thanks for sharing that. Right, I was going to put it up against him or Lamar Jackson. It seems, in your opinion, is Josh Allen. Yeah, he's had a great year, right? Lamar Jackson is playing really well as of the last couple of games. So is Josh Allen. Josh Allen is playing better, without a doubt. So I think the race will be tight, but I agree with you. I think this is Josh Allen's year. If he finishes out strong, he should win the MVP.
Yeah.
There's a couple Christmas games on Netflix, which is interesting.
Yeah.
All right. Have you noticed this? Like, you got Peacock, you got Netflix, you got Prime now showing all the Thursday night games with their big deal with the NFL. Yeah. A lot of these streaming services are showing a lot of the games, right?
Yeah.
NFL is doing really well with marketing to these different platforms and getting their product on these different platforms. I don't know. I'm thinking about the NBA. We talked about it earlier. Their ratings dropping. Is this something that they might want to do because people are moving away from cable TV?
It's very interesting. I've never thought about that, and I think that's a great point to bring up. Yeah. I think going out and streaming on different places is a great option for the NBA. I think they could do well. They do have a new TV deal going into effect next year. So I think some things may change, but I don't think Netflix is in on that. I don't know I think Peacock might be with some big games, but if you put a couple of games a week, on Netflix, or even if, let's say, for instance, your favorite team is the Lakers, right? Let's say you could buy a package through Netflix that you'd get every single one of their games, right? That'd be kind of cool.
Yeah.
So because most folks, they tune in to watch their guys, right?
Yeah.
So if you can do something like that, where you can create a service where you're able to watch just your guys and have the accessibility that you have with Netflix, where you're anywhere and anywhere, you can watch it. Like, you can be on top of a mountain somewhere and watch a game, right? As long as you have a cellular network. So yeah, I think that's a great idea. Maybe you should do a marketing pitch for the NBA.
No. Yeah. I'm doing it right here. Wake up, NBA.
Come on,
get
guys.
with the program. Follow. I mean, it's like like the NFL says, it's a copycat league.
Yeah, and then it's all about these commissioners, man. The commissioner of the NFL, Roger Goodell, he's probably the best commissioner they've ever had. He gets a lot of backlash for a lot of things.
You're going to get a lot of backlash because a lot of people don't like that.
Well, I mean,
not going to like that statement.
Where he's taken, the salaries and the cap from when it started to where it is now. In that sense, for sure. And the accessibility to the NFL, it's changed tremendously. Yep. I mean, we had a game in Brazil earlier this year in Sao Paulo. So, that's amazing. But there's other commissioners out there, Gary Bettman, NHL. Hate that guy. You could definitely, you need to pull things from other leagues, Look at the European leagues, look at look at the NBA, look at the NFL, and come up with different ideas. I know NHL has gone back with ESPN, but I think what you said, you hit the nail on the head with these streaming services. If you want to grow your game, you have to put it out there in a different way. I started watching a lot of Formula One because during COVID, Netflix came out with this special called Drive to Survive. I got to know some of the drivers. You got behind the scenes stuff. Formula One's been around for generation, right?
Yeah.
And now there's not one race that I won't watch. I'll get up at stupid times on Sunday mornings to watch some of these races, because I'm so interested in it. That's what Netflix did. It hooked me, and it made me into a Formula One fan. So
that's awesome.
Yeah, for sure.
That's awesome. Yeah. Let's see what happens. We'll talk about the Christmas games. I think we'll do another episode, a special Christmas episode, right? Before everything kicks off.
We'll call it Jingle All the Way.
Jingle All the Way. Yeah. Okay. Let's talk about the Niners. Last 2 weeks, they beat the Bears in decisive fashion. They lost to the Rams in horrible fashion. Right down at the end.
Oh,
Purdy interception wiped out any chance of them making the playoffs. Pretty much, I think they still have 1% chance, but it's 1%.
Nothing pretty about that. Nothing pretty about that.
So let's jump on Purdy now, right? Big offseason coming for the 49ers and Brock Purdy.
Yeah. It's probably the biggest. It's probably the biggest offseason that we've had in the last 10 years since Jim Harbaugh left in 2014.
Yeah.
This is the biggest offseason that we have.
Let me ask you something.
Okay.
Purdy just lost to the Rams. He's got 3 more games left. Not easy games.
Nope.
He's got the Dolphins.
Today.
He's got the Lions.
Oh, gosh.
Yeah. And the final game, he's got the Arizona Cardinals in there as well.
Cardinals, on the 8th of January.
Right, he's got the Cardinals. I mean, let's say he goes 0-3 here. He loses all 3 games. What do you pay Brock Purdy? Do you pay him $50 million plus?
I mean, who's his agent? He doesn't have Scott Boras, does he? The guy that just got Soto like a $1 billion contract.
Brock Purdy's agents, I think he's not a well-known guy. He's like kind of one of those up-and-comers. So
that's good. It works in our favor then. Okay, so in John Lynch, I trust. I think John Lynch and that front office know what they're doing when it comes to contracts.
Do they? I mean, because Brandon Ayuk, that didn't get done. So, and
I think both
horrible start to the year.
I think both sides were at fault on that one. Personally, I think Brandon Ayuk he didn't keep things in-house like the 49ers would have wanted. He was FaceTiming Jane Daniels, saying, get me out of here, do this, do that. So it left a bad taste in the 49ers' mouths. Eventually, it got to the point where they couldn't even trade him because they were into the year almost.
So you're saying that John Lynch and Brock Purdy's agent and Brock Purdy are going to get the job done before training camp starts next year?
Yes.
100%. Okay. Is it going to be 50 million or over or under?
A year?
Yes. 0-3 finish.
I want to say they'll go a different. I don't think it'll be 50 million. I don't think he'll be paid top tier money. Top tier would be top 5 money. I think he'd probably be anywhere from the 6 to 10 quarterbacks pay. I don't think he's going to reset the market because I don't think he's. I think he's definitely a guy that is smart. He understands that to build a championship team, you need to give up something, and he's a student of the game. The teams that he grew up watching, New England Patriots, right? They had guys sacrificing all over the place, right? Even though these guys were number one in their positions, quarterback, wide receiver, defensive ends that should be paid top 10 money, weren't, because they wanted to win.
Yeah.
So I think personally, I believe in my heart of hearts that he's going to take less, just because that's the type of person he is.
Yeah.
I don't think in his wildest dreams that he'd be even thinking that he'd be making $250 million. The guy's made $1 million in the last 4 years or something like that. He's probably getting paid more by Toyota than he's getting paid by the 49ers.
Yeah.
And he understands that. He understands the endorsements that come with it. He understands there's other means of making money. I mean, he'll probably get a John Deere contract here pretty soon, to be honest. So, I think he's smart, and I think he also understands that there's guys on that team right now, that we need to keep, and he wants to have as a part of this franchise for years to come. So I don't think he's going to go for that $50 million a year, $60 million a year. I don't think it'll be Dak Prescott money, because he understands that if you want to build and be competitive as a team, you have to give up certain things. And yeah, he's going to get paid. He's going to get paid, but it's not going to be, a handicap, similar to, the Seahawks paying Russell Wilson, and then the Legion of Boom is no more.
All right, let's see what happens. Two guys that are also going to be negotiating for long-term deals are on the defensive side of the ball, and are both coming off pretty gruesome injuries. We got Talanoa Hufanga, safety for the 49ers, and their heart and soul, Dre Greenlaw, linebacker.
Yeah. These two guys are so vital and so important to the success of the San Francisco 49ers. They are anchors on that defense. They're homegrown guys that we drafted. They need to come back. We need to bring these guys back, and the only way that's going to happen is if Brock Purdy's deal is a teamish friendly deal. Dre Greenlaw is coming off an injury, Talanoa Hufanga as well. So I don't know what their markets are going to be like, but there are teams out there that will overpay for guys of this magnitude just because of the potential of them getting back to where they were in their all-pro seasons, right? I don't believe Dre Greenlaw's been an all-pro, but, to us, that's how he plays. But Talanoa Hufanga has been. So I think it's very, very important for these guys to come back. But, there's other needs that the 49ers have that they need to address. The right side of the offensive line is probably one of the weakest parts of our team. The left side.
When you say right side, let's be clear. Dominic Mooney, right tackle.
Poody's,
because when you say right side,
Poody's the guard. Poody's our guard.
Yeah.
But no, I think it's Colt McKivitz.
Colton McKivitz. Correct.
Yeah, Colt McKivitz, Jake Brendel. Those guys aren't getting it done. I mean, you put Purdy in the center of those guys to make both of those guys look better, to be honest.
Mm-hmm.
If Purdy had two guys that are halfway decent, I mean, they'd be great. But that right tackle spot, since we lost McGlinchey a few years ago, McGlinchey wasn't the greatest thing in the world.
No, he wasn't.
He was better.
He was
right?
better. Yeah, he was average.
He was better. Yeah,
he was
average. So, we definitely need to get our defensive guys back, but that offensive line needs some work, needs some love.
Yeah.
I think they're gonna shake some things up. A guy like Debo might get traded. He's got no more guaranteed money on his deal. Brandon Ayuk hopefully is recovered before.
Let's pause. Let's talk about Debo. Right. I mean, there's a lot of things that happened in the Tampa Bay game, right?
Yep.
Where he attacked Peppers. He attacked Moody.
Yeah.
Right. And he talked about playing better, manning up, etc. After that, I don't even know how he played in that game, to be honest. I don't know. He's seems like he's not playing well at all, right? I mean, this whole season's been shit, especially the games after the Bucks game. He's dropping balls. He dropped a critical ball in the Rams game, which could have been a touchdown.
Should have been.
Actually, he tweeted a few things before that during that week about not getting the ball enough, right?
Yeah.
And then gets the ball multiple times and drops it. Like, I think you're right. I mean, what I think he's going to go as well. I think you have to trade him. Especially, you don't need a gadget guy like when you already have a CMC, right? You have two development. You have two receivers. One you took in the first round, Ricky Pearsall. You have Juwan Jennings, who's been a revelation.
It's a steal of what they paid him this offseason. It's just a steal.
Insane.
Yeah. You got to get back to John Lynch, right? John Lynch signed Juwan Jennings early on in the offseason, knowing that it was a big, vital part of our team. He did his best to get Brandon Ayuk back as well, but the number was too far apart. John Lynch understands the way to build a team. He was on one of the greatest defenses of all time. That team that he played for in Tampa Bay had, I think, like 6 Hall of Famers on it or something. I mean,
Warren
unbelievable. And Monty Kiffin coaching that defense. Goodness me, he knows what it takes, man. I mean, if anybody knows, it's these guys: Kyle Shanahan, John Lynch. They know.
Let's talk about that. Let's talk about Kyle Shanahan. Let's talk about the coaching now.
Look, I'm gonna sort of interject for 1 second. I know you're gonna ask me a question here, but I'm gonna give you a statement prior to. The team that is the best in the NFL isn't necessarily the best. It's the healthiest. It's who gets to that finish line. The 49ers have been more guys on IR this year than I've ever seen. Than guys that are all pros that are missing games. I think they set a record for how many guys that are all pros that are missing games. You got CMC down, Trent Williams down, Hufanga hasn't played this year, Dre Greenlaw's been out, Warner's playing with a fractured ankle, Charvarius Ward, circumstances that we don't even want to talk about.
That's not.
The team itself they're just, you literally cut off their Achilles heel with all these guys. There's guys that they literally picked off the street. The running back that's playing for the Niners this week, Patrick Taylor Jr. Right?
Yep.
I've never heard of that guy. I'm sorry. Like, I hope the best. I hope he's gonna do well. But dude, where are these guys coming from? So I don't think this has been the best year. For Kyle Shanahan, for John Lynch, but it's just sometimes these things happen, and even George Kittle missed some time, right? It's just not the year, man. Like, if you're a healthy team, you give me the San Francisco 49ers healthy against anybody any of the 31 teams in the NFL.
Just not the Chiefs. Just not the Chiefs.
Not the Super Bowl, not the Chiefs. But yeah, dude, the team is there. It's there, but they need to be healthy. You can't win games if you don't have your guys, right? As simple as that. Brock Purdy's a good quarterback, but you give him those guys, he's a great quarterback. You know that as well as I do.
Sure, of course. Strategy though, man, it's been awful this year. Like the play calling has been awful. You saw Kyle Shanahan in the Rams game called on a 3rd and 6, a run up the middle for Deebo Samuel out of the shotgun. What the hell? Who calls that? I don't call that in Madden, man. I mean, shoot. I mean, anybody knows 3rd and 6, you don't run the ball with Deebo. Yeah. I mean, you pass it. Come on, like you do anything that you. All right, fine. If you're going, all right, fine. If I get it, you want to go 3rd and 6, you want to get a couple yards. That means you're planning to go for it on 4th down, right?
Yeah.
And you don't. You punt it. Anyways, it's been play calling horrible. Kyle Shanahan needs to go out, or I mean, we're not making the playoffs this year, so he's going to have ample time to do some research, reinvent himself, because the league is caught up. They did what the Chiefs did in the Super Bowl. They pressed him, man coverage, blitz Purdy, and they can't beat it. They just can't beat it, and they can't beat it, and they can't beat it. And I don't know what it is, but Kyle Shanahan doesn't know how to beat man coverage.
Look, football is a complementary sport, okay? Your defense feeds off your offense. Your offense feeds off your defense. Both feed off your special teams, right? Every single phase of the 49ers.
Oh, we're only talking about offense here. We're only talking about Kyle Shanahan. We're not talking about defense.
But you're not understanding. You don't get it. Like, you're not. Okay, your offense can't just be your driving force. They're not Peyton Manning's Indianapolis Colts. They have a good defense. They have a good special teams, but they haven't shown it.
They don't have good special teams. They don't have a good special teams. They haven't had a good special teams in a long time.
They've had it in the past, but not this year. But
they had it with Harbaugh.
Even Mooney got hurt. We talked about injuries. Even Mooney got hurt. How often does your kicker get hurt?
Fine. You want to write off this year? If that's kind of what it sounds like, that's okay.
No,
I think
you're not answering. You're not listening to what I'm saying.
Sure, go.
You gotta understand that if your offense, defense, and special teams, they're not doing anything. I mean, look, the defense. How many times have they given up a 3rd down conversion? How many times has it happened? They can't get off the field. The offense can't convert a 3rd down to save their lives. Our kicking game, Mooney kicked the ball out of bounds like 10 times this year on a freaking kickoff, and he can't even make a field goal to save his life. Dude, what? Tell me one good thing that you've seen from this team this year that you're like, dude, that's it. That's it. Give me something. Please.
One good thing that I've seen from the team this year.
Yeah.
Their defense does play well in the first couple quarters, and then they let go in the 4th quarter. So whatever they're doing for the first couple quarters, I don't know why it's not happening in the 4th quarter. So that's one good thing. On offense, that's tough. I think Purdy's had some really good stretches where he's played well, and then there's been times where,
Jamal Jennings is the offensive MVP. Everybody knows that.
Yeah.
As simple as that.
He's a silver lining on offense this year. Defensively, I think the 2 cornerbacks, Lenore and Bernardo Green, are probably the 2 silver linings there. Yeah, you can say this season's a wash, right? But I'm telling you, if they don't figure out man coverage come next year, it's going to be the same thing. Shanahan has to reinvent himself. He has to find new things that work. Like this is not whatever's happening now. Yeah, you're going to get CMC back. A CMC that has been injured last season is going to be coming back. Brandon Ayuk, who's probably not going to be healthy until like mid-season, late into the season, right?
Yeah.
Next year. You're not gonna have your whole team again. What are you gonna say then? I'm telling you, Shanahan needs to work on himself this offseason. He needs to really look at his play calling, and find out what's going on. I would watch that Chiefs film every day. I would watch that Chiefs every single the regular season game.
You know who you
I would
sound
watch
like?
the Super Bowl game.
You know who you sound like? You sound like the Celtics head coach that says he watches The Town like 3 times a week. That's who you sound like.
Well, he needs to watch something.
Whatever.
Look, this is what he does. He loses in big games. He loses against the Chiefs. Andy Reid sits on his couch every day, eats out of his whatever Andy Reid wants to do, he does. Spagnuolo owns him. He's given the blueprint to the rest of the league.
All right. Let's get off of the 49ers because I feel like we're just getting into a verbal confrontation. People are like, these guys must be brothers because they definitely are going at it right now.
No.
It's for anybody who's just tuning in, yes, we're brothers and we're crazy, both of us. So
yeah, if you skip to this section, you're probably going to see a little bit of or hear a little bit of back and forth that you probably haven't heard before on our podcast.
Yeah.
So I think you're going to end up hearing a lot more because I think we're frustrated, right? And it's been a tough season. So
I got some steam coming out of my ears right now. Let me just.
Yeah.
All right, there we go.
Okay, let's look at the playoff picture. I'm gonna quickly share my screen. 1 second here. All right. Have a look at. There we go. Okay. So, AFC's on the left-hand side, and then FC's on the right. So we got the Chiefs. This could happen. I think this could be the playoffs, to be honest. What do you think? Like, do you think this is going to end up being how it plays out?
Let's see. The Buccaneers are still fighting for the division, so today is going to be a telltale game. Because Atlanta's still there. Let's see. Minnesota, Detroit is very, very interesting. I mean, you're gonna have to have your foot on the gas pedal the whole time. Green Bay is, unfortunately they're in the NFC North, so they're not going to be able to do anything there. The Rams look like they're going to win the division. In the NFC West, they control their own destiny, especially with a Week 17 matchup against the Seattle Seahawks. So, I think the NFC is there's a couple of things there. I think it's pretty much set. The only thing I think could change is that AFC South between Tampa Bay and Atlanta. I'm watching Michael Penix play his first game right now, and he looks like Michael Vick reincarnated because he's left-handed. It's pretty crazy. He's just whipping it around. It's insane. So yeah, let's jump over. What do you think? Sorry, I didn't ask you.
Yeah, I mean it's tighter, right? I mean we'll see what happens with Washington with the Eagles today. Seems like this is the only one that's up for grabs here, the 7th slot. 7 seed is that's it. I mean you got Seattle, Atlanta, Arizona, San Francisco all battling for it. A lot of things have to go right for SF to get it. They're not. Seattle probably has the best shot at getting in. But Commanders have to lose a couple. I don't know if they're going to, so it'll be tough. But this will be interesting here how this plays out. Detroit again is still playing. They're going to be playing the Niners, which is going to be an interesting matchup. Even with what's happened with the 49ers. It could be a blowout game, but it could also be really close. It just depends on which 49ers team decides to show up. And that'll be really good for Philly. Now, obviously, Philly needs to beat Washington, so we'll see what happens with this game. But yeah, man, it's gonna be fun. I'm even with the 49ers out of the playoffs, I'm looking forward to watching good playoff football. So it'll be interesting. But yeah. All right, let's stop sharing and let's talk about a couple games that are happening right now. Don't cheat. Are you looking at the scores already?
No.
Okay, cool. All right, let's just pick them. Right. Lions at Bears.
Stupid question. Kind of like Daddy T talks about all the time. Well, that's a stupid question. Okay, Lions.
All right, nice. I got the Lions as well. Eagles at Commanders.
Oof, man. I'm gonna go with the Commanders. I think they pulled that one out.
I think Eagles still close that one out.
Vikings at Seahawks. I'm gonna go with the Seahawks in that one.
Okay, yeah, I am gonna go with the Vikings. I think they keep pressing the gas here down the stretch.
I think they're gonna get a world of hurt going up into that Northwest in Seattle.
Niners at Dolphins. I'm gonna pick the Dolphins because I don't even think the 49ers can win a game now down the stretch.
I'm taking the Niners. I'm taking the Niners because I don't trust the offense for the Dolphins. I think they lost Jalen Waddle. They let Odell Beckham go.
Beckham wasn't doing anything this year. Come on.
Like I said. Okay, so yeah, we're good.
Rams at Jets.
Rams at Jets. That just seems like a terrible game, but give me the Jets. I think Aaron Rodgers wants to figure out a way to come back next year. Maybe go on another ayahuasca trip or something. Who knows? But
this guy, man. Did you see the little confrontation between him and Ryan Clark over social media?
No. That's it. What happened?
Ryan Clark has been one of his harshest critics. He said a few things that Aaron Rodgers clearly heard. He went on the Pat McAfee show, or McAfee, right? McAfee,
yeah.
right?
Yeah.
And well, he wasn't happy. Let's just say that. So he said something about like, "Hey, let me see your vax status," which I didn't quite understand, right? Like he's like, put that on your social media or something. That was like one of his responses to Ryan Clark. So I don't know what the hell is going on with Aaron Rodgers.
I don't know.
I think he's pretty much done, right? And Ryan Clark, I don't get why hit a good quarterback, a great quarterback, Hall of Fame quarterback when he's down, right? Why hit him hard? Like, it's no point, man.
It's whatever. I mean, I think it just kind of rolls off now. To be honest, I don't think either one of the guys makes any sense. So,
yeah. So, cool. I got the Jets in that one. So, I'm pulling for Aaron Rodgers. I don't always agree with a lot of his takes, but I do respect what he did in the NFL, and I want him to go. I want him to go outright. So
cool.
All right, man. Closing segment. Closing thoughts. Maybe you could just share when we will sync up again, because we need to be a little bit better about this.
Yeah, let's. Maybe we'll do a Christmas Eve here. I think we'll both have some time at that time.
Wear some Christmas stuff, because we got to make it festive.
Okay.
Maybe you dress up as Santa. Maybe
everything in your closet. For those of you who don't know my brother, and those of you who do, this guy's whole closet screams Christmas. Everything
plaid,
is
man. It's plaid.
Flannel. It's all flannel. It's all plaid. My dad says full-on, instead of flannel. Yeah, it's crazy, but man, that guy's closet just screams Christmas. Like, it's crazy. So yeah, he's got the pick of the litter. I guarantee you, he's gonna have like some red and white, or red and black, something that he's just going festive
Dude,
as
how
heck.
do you know? How do you know what I'm going to wear?
Because I know you.
How did you know?
I already know. I already know.
That's
and,
funny, man. That's funny.
I'm more subtle. I don't really go over the top, but we'll figure it out. But thank you guys for tuning in to another episode. I do apologize for the delay between episodes. I hope if we don't speak to you guys, we will on Christmas Eve, but hope you guys are getting all that holiday shopping done. Don't forget to like and subscribe.